Good morning, Max, and welcome to the St. Williams podcast. We are your hosts for this episode, Eli Shepherd and Brooklyn McGuinness.
Today we are joined by Max Bryant, Brisbane Heat cricketer and 2023-24 BBL champion. Good morning, Max.
Morning, guys. How you going?
Good. Max, can you tell us about your family and where you were born and where you grew up?
Grew up in far north coast of New South Wales, born in Mulboolumbar, and grew up in Kingscliff with my two younger brothers. Yeah.
What primary school did you go to, and what is your earliest memory of going to school?
I went to St. Anthony's Primary School in Kingscliff, and probably riding a bike with the two younger brothers at school.
Were you a good student, and what was your favourite part of school?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I was a good student. You might have to ask the teachers that, but yeah, I don't really have too many memories of primary schools. Probably just kicking the footy around the back and throwing the cricket ball.
Who was your favourite school teacher and why at primary school?
I wasn't a teacher, it was actually the assistant principal who was he was involved with the rugby league club back down home, so he got me out of a bit of trouble sometimes.
What is the earliest memory of playing sport, and what sport was it?
Probably rugby league. I think I was underage or something. I scored a hat trick and I got a meat pie and a Coke after the game, so yeah, I think that's my first memory of sport.
When you finished primary school, what secondary school did you go to?
St. Joseph's College in Benora Point.
What was that much different to primary school? Why and how?
It was because you were the youngest at the school, I guess, starting, and everything was a bit more strict, and yeah, I think you start to learn to grow up in high school, yeah.
Growing up, you were a very handy cricketer and a rugby league player. Can you tell us about some of your earliest memories of playing those sports as a child?
I think rugby league was my first sport, and cricket was just the summer sport and just having fun in summer and playing with my mates. Yeah, I played schoolboy stuff with New South Wales schoolboys, and wasn't really taking cricket serious until about 15 or 16. And then decided to move over to Queensland with some cricket, so that's where it's all come from.
Were you a better cricketer or football player, and did you like one sport more than the other?
I think I just answered that. I think, yeah, rugby league was my favourite sport growing up. I had uncles and fathers who were involved with the NRL teams. Yeah, and I think I chose the right sport. I wasn't getting injured as much playing cricket. Yeah, and just the likes to join into a squad with Joe Burns and Usman Khawaja was pretty cool, and yeah, not looking back at it at all.
Who were your sporting idols when you were growing up? What did you like about them, and did you ever meet them? If so, were they what you expected?
I actually played with a couple, Chris Lynn and Brendan McCullum. Played 2 years with them at the start of the heat. Probably Benji Marshall was the rugby league, just had a bit of flair, and I loved his flick pass.
Yeah.
You played junior cricket for Queensland and rugby league for New South Wales. Did you play with anyone on either side who also went to play rep cricket or in the NRL?
There was a few players. I was probably a bit younger. Played schoolboys. Actually, Payne Haas is from Newcastle, and he moved up to the Gold Coast, and he played underage stuff with the Titans, and there's a couple of guys from Dragon, I think Zach Lomax as well, just in the schoolboy stuff. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Your brother Oscar is a very handy NRL player who plays for the Gold Coast Titans. What were the cricket and footy games like in the backyard growing up?
They were very rough. There was lots of blues and not hacking it, getting out. Wasn't too much playing footy, it was more kicking the footy on the dirt road. Yeah, it was a bit aggressive at times, not hacking it, and I was probably the main culprit for that, so yeah.
Is it true that Brisbane Broncos wanted to sign you as a teenager to the club?
I'm not sure if that was the case, but I had a couple of trials with them just around the corner at Arana. I'm not too sure if they wanted to sign me, but I had a couple of trials with them, yeah.
At what age did you think you could make it as a professional sportsman?
That's a funny question. I didn't really look too far ahead as a youngster, and I didn't think that much of myself, and I just wanted to play first grade local stuff. And looking up to some guys there was pretty cool, but then to keep going on and playing professional. Yeah, I think it was about 16 or 17. I think I knew I had it in me. I scored a couple of hundreds in first grade cricket for the Gold Coast Dolphins, and yeah, I think that's when I thought I could get a crack and could get a chance.
You made your Queensland Premier Cricket debut at the age of 16 and played Australian under-19 cricket. Can you tell us about both of those experiences?
Coming in from the juniors into the seniors is pretty daunting, I guess. You got some older guys there who's giving you a bit of stick and a bit of chat. Yeah, and playing in the World Cup over New Zealand in the 19s for Australia, it was pretty cool as well. You get to see where your level is against the other countries and what your skill level is, and yeah, it was pretty exciting over in New Zealand. First time travelling overseas, which was awesome.
You have been playing for the Brisbane Heat since the 2018-2019 season, and in that time you lost the 2022 to 2023 BBL final. Then this season you won the final, playing a crucial role at the end of the innings, scoring a vital 29 off 19 balls. How did the two games differ, and what did you learn from the two experiences?
First one over in Perth was very daunting. I think it was 42 degrees and there was not one blue jersey or Heat jersey in the crowd. And we got off the plane and there was a news article of the headline was a bunch of nobodies because we lost, I think it was 3 or 4 Aussie guys. Yeah, come off the plane, said the newspaper, was pretty daunting seeing that, and then getting pretty close. I think it was a real testament of what the Heat are about and what players can do when the big players aren't there. So it's a real eye-opener for us, and then to do it this year was, I think it was lots of learnings from last year. I think last year, like with 3 overs to go, I think we thought we had the game won, and this year was trying not to get too far ahead of ourselves while we're doing that. So I was on the mic in the field, and I think I was saying that every over on the broadcast. So yeah, it was a pretty cool experience this year to win it, and hopefully we get close next year.
At St. Williams, we have the 5 learning dispositions: resilience, persistent, innovation, collaboration, and engagement. These dispositions help us become better learners in and out of the classroom. How important is it being resilient and persistent as a sportsman?
I think if you don't have those 2 qualities, I don't think you're going to get too far in sport. I think you've just got to stay with it. You're going to have up and downs in sport, so you just got to keep sticking with what you're doing and stick to your processes. That's what we train for. Yeah, I think if you don't have those 2 qualities, you're not probably going to get too far in your sporting journey.
What has been the most challenging time for you as a player? What was it like, and how did you get through it? Are there any strategies that work better than others?
Probably my first 2 years playing Big Bash, I was playing every game. And then I think it was the 3rd year, I had a bit of a lean patch and I got dropped from the Heat. It was pretty new to me. I'd never been dropped from a team ever in my life. And for that, I was pretty shocked. But yeah, I think the thing is there's other very good players who are playing, and professional sport, you don't only have a certain period where you can do bad and they can hold on to you for. But yeah, I think if you go back and, like I said, train to be resilient and to get back to where you were, because other teams will find different strategies to get you out, and then you need to go back and work on them so they don't get you out.
Do you think the better coaches you have been coached by were innovative, collaborative, and engaged? What makes these dispositions so important to a team's success?
Different coaches have different views and different coaching tactics. They've all got their different ways of winning games and trying to get other players out and how to bat against different bowlers, I guess. So they've all got their different views, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I think if you've got as many views and tactics, I think it's very good for the game, and to try different things in cricket is what it is, and it's evolving. I think as England's doing what they call Bazball, they're trying to take Test cricket in a different path and trying to get more viewers watching it, because I think it was dying there for a bit, and Brendan McCullum come out and said he wants Test cricket to be number 1. He's a perfect example of different ways of doing that, yeah.
Who's your most annoying teammate and why?
It'd have to be Joe Burns. He's always ringing me, and he's always just pestering around at training, and while we're playing as well, he's just a pest.
Your Bash brothers Chris Lynn, Ben Cutting, and Josh Brown have all left the Heat in recent times. Is it possible you're the most annoying player at the Heat?
Very much so, yeah. I think some players would think that. Could be the most annoying player.
Who hits the ball cleaner, Chris Lynn, Ben Cutting, or Josh Brown? Or is it actually you?
I think I'd have to say Josh Brown, because he doesn't really hit the middle of the bat that often, but when it does, it's a long way, and when it doesn't hit the middle, it still goes a long way. So I'd have to say Josh Brown. He makes his own cricket bats as well, so I'd have to say him. He hits the ball harder than anyone I've seen.
Do you know a player who goes by alias of Cecil Bison? And is it true Mr. Fogarty is still looking for a cricket ball? Cecil hit 3 cricket fields over from where they were playing in LMS game.
Cecil Bison. Yeah, right, yeah. I know Bison, didn't know Cecil.
It's Josh Brown.
Yeah.
That's his alias when he plays LMS.
Didn't know that at all. Cecil Brown. Cecil Bison.
Who's the fastest bowler you've faced, and who's the most difficult bowler you have played against?
The fastest bowler. It'd have to be Jofra Archer from England. He played for Hobart a couple of years ago in the Big Bash. And Rashid Khan would be the most difficult. Probably spin's not my forte, and he spins it both ways at 100 kilometres an hour, so it's pretty tough to face him.
What is the best piece of advice you have received that has helped you in your life?
It's probably don't change who you are as a person. Growing up, there was people in the background saying that once you turn into a sports person, you might change, and I think not changing who you are and having your core values from your family and growing up that way, I was very lucky with my parents. Their core values were very good, and it's just family first and not forgetting where you've come from.
What are your goals for the upcoming Sheffield Shield and BBL?
It's probably just to cement a spot in both. I've been off and on the field the last couple of years and been very consistent at what I do, and hopefully helping the team win more matches and getting to finals in both One Day Cricket Shield and actually the Big Bash as well.
Post-cricket, what do you want to do?
Funny question that. I've tried lots of things. I've tried to enroll in uni, didn't really work out. I've done some part-time building carpentry stuff. In year 11 and 12 I did a construction course, which was very helpful. It helps take off a year off your carpentry. But yeah, I'm not too sure what I want to do yet. It's either going to be in the building space or I don't know what else. I haven't really thought that far ahead. I just want to try and focus on cricket as much as possible and for as long as possible, and then hopefully sort out that at the end of my career.
We want you to finish the show with our Hot 10. Are you up for it?
Yep.
Shirt tucked in or out?
With cricket or not cricket?
With cricket.
In. I think we'd get in trouble if it was out and get told off.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Maroons or blue?
What sport?
Rugby league.
New South Wales.
Big Mac or Whopper?
Big Mac.
Ice bath or sauna?
Sauna.
Pepsi or Coke?
Pepsi.
Favourite TV show?
I've got quite a few at the moment. Peaky Blinders is up there, yeah.
Favourite movie?
I watched Oppenheimer last year, early this year, which was very good.
Favourite song?
Anything country.
Yeah. Favourite country to visit?
I've only visited a couple. I'd have to say Fiji.
Thank you so much for being our guest today, Max. We really enjoy having you on our podcast. And I'm sure all our listeners will love hearing about your life story. Good luck with the upcoming cricket season.
Thanks, guys.